do you feel the players that struggle with that anxiety and depression the most are the ones that are focusing more on themselves versus focusing on the team?
Oh, that's a good question. I will say,
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode, episode 2 of Pop 1021. We're in season 10. So if you're seeing this for the very first time, check out a bunch of episodes. If you like football, this is a great episode to tune into. Soccer, that's what I meant, but football, you can check another channel, sadly. But before we get started into this episode, we have an amazing guest to the side of us. So let's have him introduce himself.
hey, hello guys. My name is Sebastian. I'm currently a international student from Colombia, and I'm a player with Urban FC here in California. So nice to meet you guys. I hope I answer some good questions, and I don't know, do some good, give you some good feedback here.
Yeah, definitely. Being an international player, I feel like that's a really big step to play in a different country, let alone just playing on a soccer team, would you say?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's huge difference. Like you wouldn't think like at the beginning like, hey, it's soccer. Okay, it's football. I'm gonna say football here, but it's football. You think like obviously you can like relate and communicate with your soccer style, with your football style, with how the game is played because everywhere is the same. Like the base is the same. So you think you are like okay, good to go. But there are a lot of things to get to know, like how to talk. Like I know how to talk English, but when I arrive how to speak English, blah, blah. But when I arrived, I didn't know how to, I don't know, Kyle, you have a man on your back to turn, to call for, I'm a keeper, so call to get the ball. So all of that you need to learn. You need to learn like a new culture. So that's really tough.
Yeah, that's a really big one. I know right now I'm playing with a team that's half Korean, half Mex well, half the team players are Korean, half of them are Mexican. So the Spanish is pretty easy. You pick it up eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the Korean side, learning, like you said, turn back, man on, shift. The vocabulary is very different.
Yeah, it's a whole other world that you are not prepared to and you don't think of honestly. Like when I was doing my preparation to come here to the US, like everything was football, I don't know, football IQ, uh but when you arrive, you're like, I don't have idea how to communicate. Like, yeah, I can talk the language, but I cannot communicate on the pitch. So that first months is really tough because you're focusing on showing yourself and at the same time you're focusing on learning why you do that. So it's like I don't want to say a bad combination to do because you will do like in many aspects of life like that. But it's tough to be because the other players are already like free going doing their job, and then there you are trying to learn, trying to catch things, and at the same time trying to learn how the team works. So it's a combination that the people doesn't tell you about, and it just surprises you when you get in.
Yeah, that cultural aspect is very different and kind of ties into like that first question we were going to go into, that support system, being in another country. I'm pretty sure you didn't meet that many Colombians right away. So how important would you say finding a support system is?
For me, it's like a weird spot for me because I tend to be a person that I'm a really I'm not really that social person, so I don't like to rely that much to others. But
Mm.
at the same time, for me, it's really important. Like at the beginning, I didn't realize about that. But like the same first months, I was trying to show my game. I was trying to learn things. My game wasn't the best at the beginning. Obviously, I was nervous. New country, new team, new teammates. The same thing. I got some friends from Colombia because we kind of arrived at the same time, but you know how maybe they are a little bit more sociable, a little bit more chit chatting here to hang out with people. I don't know, go to parties after training. And I'm not that kind of person. So even though we were Colombian and we could talk, it was like kind of a tricky spot to be like around somebody here in other country to get that support from, like I don't know, even soccer wise only or something. So the first month was really tricky. I remember the first person that I actually approached to me, talked to me, and kind of became like my support system, even if he didn't want to, was Costa, Gonzalo Costa.
Yeah.
That used to be our teammate. Now he's a coach nearby. So that talks pretty well of how he's doing as a coach. So it's really important because you don't feel like at the beginning I was like, I'm just nervous, I will do better, but I was doing bad. I wasn't getting, even like I was getting lesser and lesser playtime. So obviously I didn't want to like accept it, like I was like struggling. But then he approached and he was like, hey, when you jump into the field, this happens, you feel so nervous, you do this thing, like just do your game, do your thing and enjoy it. Like you're playing in another country, what you like to do, you're doing a sport you like to do. And yeah, obviously it's like a really big thing here in your ear or in your back, like, hey, you have to perform. But at the same time, it's like you get the opportunity to perform in another country, in a new situation. Or even for me, like the chance to keep playing the sport, because in Colombia I was done because of my age. Like when you reach like 20, you're like, okay, you're not in a team or the reserve of the team, you're done. So US gave me that opportunity. And then so Costa arrived, and then this other guy, I don't know if you met him in Irvine as Rui. There's a Japanese guy.
That name
Uh,
sounds familiar.
yeah. So he was like friends with Costa, so he started also talking to me, and so on and so on. I think that that's like the first aid I got, like in a support, let's say, system to talk to somebody to relate of the thing, because I could talk maybe, I don't know, with my mom, with my friends. Like I keep in touch with my friends in Colombia, but and they're good, they help me out, but it's not the same feel, because the other guys have the feeling of coming to another country, facing that issues. So like trying to relate is what I guess what I was lacking on my support system.
Mm.
uh I hope that's the direction you pretended with super system.
Yeah, it's a
um
big thing.
so yeah, that was it. And I think that I struggled a lot, like those first 2 years with Westcliff University. That's my university, I don't mind saying it. Um so it was weird, and I guess I never found like a sweet spot in Westcliff. It was honestly when I left to Irvine that I feel like welcome and be part of, with you guys in the second team, with the coaches, overall Pedro, the coach Pedro. I remember pretty vividly like the first time we met, with you, Mario, because obviously like you're very like happy. You're like a light. You're like every time. So I was like, hey, no, what's up? It's Mario, blah, 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 blah. So that made me feel like welcome. So that's a pretty good thing. And I also remember just a really funny quote. Like I forgot your name, but then I remember when you introduced yourself, you did like the Mario, like
Uh,
the bro. And I forgot your name. I was about to call you, and I felt so bad because we actually talked like a little bit the first day, and I was like, no.
yeah.
And then I remember that interaction, and I was like, oh, it's Mario. So that was less just like a funny thing. But yeah, this is when I left Urban that I start to feel like part of something. And I think that indirectly that's a way you guys support me, being me, part of the team, even though I was new, even though I was like an unknown person. That's the thing that Wesley honestly didn't do. They didn't treat me badly, don't get me wrong. They were good. They didn't, I don't know, bully me or something. No, that didn't happen. But I just never find that sweet spot of feeling part of. That's the thing.
Like that family or that community aspect.
Exactly. And that's a something that Irvine gave me the support to perform and to be like who I wanted to be here.
Definitely. I remember during I was to say interview, the tryout stages of football,
Yeah.
that one of the biggest things I remember from at least from when I was with Irvine is that they look for obviously talent is the biggest thing, and then the next thing they look for right away is character. There are some players that were pretty solid, though their personality and the character was pretty rubbish.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's the thing. Like I remember at the beginning, obviously, I was coming from an injury. I
Mm.
was coming from all that situation. And like everybody knows with everybody, and you just arrive there like, hey, I'm new. And even more because um like a friend of mine like is the one who get me there, another keeper. And I remember he told me you were supposed to be with me in the first team because I needed a second keeper. And I was like, okay, I'm fine with being a second keeper after being 4 months out because of the injury, because I broke my wrist. Uh, so, um, so yeah, I was like kind of going there, and then the coach of the first team goes like, no, you go with the reserves because you like fitness. I mean, he didn't tell me, but I realized you like fitness, you like the mentality, you like the character to be in the first team. and I work a lot of that on that because like everything in Westcliff indirectly affect me to like don't do my game, to try to obviously you have to accommodate to your coach with the necessities of your coach and on your team. You cannot just go crazy like, oh, because this is how I play, this is how I'm gonna do. But I think you have to do like maybe a 60-40, like 40% how your coach wants, 60% what you do,
Mhm.
because just that's your personality talking, and that's also like how you feel comfortable doing it. Like I'm not gonna lie, if the coach told me, hey, we're gonna play long every match, every ball, I will do it, but I will tell him like, hey, I'm not the best for that. That's not my forte.
Mhm.
But here's like he realizes that, hey, I like to play short, I like to take risks, I like to play to the six, like to play outside the box. He allows me that. And that's what also Coach Pedro did. Like he told me, like, hey, that's how I play. You like that or you don't? Like he talked me through. And I was like, yeah, I love it. And that's when I started like developing that character of being who I am right now in the team and
Mhm.
with my teammates.
Interesting being able to put in the assets that you have rather than accommodating and trying to be something that you're.
Exactly, that I'm not like obviously I will say like I've been working on my I don't know long passes. Obviously, I have to improve on that because not every situation is to go short football wise,
Yeah.
but and I've been improved a lot. But at the same time, it's like it's not my forte. So, for example, I remember there was a couple games that maybe I had a chance to play, but Sergio played the other keeper because he's really good with the long balls, and those matches really need long balls, you know. So that's little details that and in the games, like you notice the games I was playing with the first team was playing short because the team that we're facing demands us that. So you just gotta learn how to deal with it, and also it's important to communicate in any aspect of life. It's important to communicate.
That's true. I think a big thing too to think about as a player and well, I guess just a player is you're at the end of the day, you're here as a team. It's not just
It's not
you.
just you.
That's
That's
something a
correct.
lot of fans, even myself sometimes, I catch myself when I see a team player or a coach putting one person in, I'm like, what's this person going to provide? What does this coach see? And then eventually I do see that player providing something, even though they're making a lot of mistakes and sometimes I feel like I can do better. They are in that position for that reason. And a lot of times we end up winning that game because of that player, because of that decision the coach made.
Yeah, that's true. You just obviously you focus on yourself
Yeah.
because you're number one in your life, but sometimes you just gotta get perspective and understand that like everybody's in the same spot as you, trying to fight for that spot, trying to be that person that solves something or just be part of and shine with the team, So yeah, it's tough, but you learn to do it even more like in a team where you are rotating, you're not fully every time 90 minutes. So that's a big point. That's a big point right there.
Would you say, looking at the professional players and
Yeah.
mental health, that depression, their anxiety, do you feel the players that struggle with that anxiety and depression the most are the ones that are focusing more on themselves versus focusing on the team?
Oh, that's a good question. I will say maybe yes, because if you focus only on yourself, that's my perspective though. If you focus only on yourself, I think you have first you have the thing to prove yourself out there to the people, to whoever you want to prove yourself, and then you want to prove yourself to yourself.
Mm.
Um, so that's two things. And three, sometimes those kind of people or athletes that works on a team and just go and hey, I have to perform, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to work. Sometimes they forget the first point we're talking. You have a support system that indirectly is your team and is your coaches, like all around you in a sports team. Even if you don't want it, or even if you don't talk with them like a friend, like hang out, they're your super system because a team works as a unit.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big aspect that these people in the necessity of them to try and demonstrate something, they maybe face a little bit more anxious situations, so maybe some depression, maybe they're not performing, maybe they focus only on themselves, the team is doing amazing, but they having little playtime, or when they play, they do a shitty game. And then he gets home, and instead of thinking, "Hey, we won," uh, they just think like about, "Oh, I didn't play. Oh, I played 10 minutes. Oh, I played 45, but I did shit." Uh, so I think there's a balance on you giving you feedback to yourself of, "Hey, we won. I could have done better, but it's a good performance."
Mm.
Okay, you gotta analyze and be honest with yourself. But I think like going to the extremes obviously is bad. Like going to that kind of point, I will say it will give you more anxiety. I will give you more maybe depression, because if you're only thinking on that, only thinking on this, that's a personal experience for me. Like if you only think about the sport, obviously it's a big part of your life. But if you only focus on that, everything goes around that. You start to feel like I don't know the word asphyxiated. Like you
Mhm.
get it without breath. You start to get breath to not have breath like in your life, because you're like, okay, I need to perform in the team, I need to train, I need to blah blah blah. So everything is like the sport. So maybe there, and if you don't have, or you don't allow yourself to have that support system that is your team, you can struggle a lot, a lot.
Mm. That's yeah. Thinking about it, so you hit something that was really interesting. That especially as athletes, that becomes our identity. That becomes a part
Yeah,
of our lives. So when we're unable to perform or show what we've been working on, it does really affect you.
yeah, it's just like personal experience. As I say, that was one point that I wasn't doing good at Westcliff, as I say. um and like every person that, I don't know, calls you, contacts you, obviously you're here for that reason. But like, hey, how's the team going? Hey, have you played with the university? Hey, how's the trainings? Like everything is about soccer. And for example, there's one point I was like, okay, if I don't do soccer, what I do in my life? Like obviously I have my studies, obviously I will find a job, whatever. But at the same point, it's like a big part of my life and my identity is to be playing soccer. So everything was like soccer, 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 that I got saturated on. Like honestly, at one point I was like, I wasn't watching any kind of matches at all, like from professional leagues. I was like, that's too much. I stopped playing FIFA at all. I don't touch that game anymore. uh and the same, it was like, if I play good, if I train good, I was feeling good. If I train bad, if I play bad, I was feeling bad. If I didn't play, if I didn't call on, I was bad. I was in bad mood. So I think when you get like that part of yourself affect the other parts of, I like the distinctive thing I got to do was like, okay, yeah, big part of my life is soccer, but it's not only that. Like I'm not soccer man. I'm Sebastian, you know? So I think that's an important thing to clarify with yourself, because yeah, everything was soccer, training in the mornings every day of the week, playing on the weekend, soccer, soccer, soccer. You just feel like that's what I get some professional players when they ask them like, hey, you watch the matches from the Champions League, hey, you watch and they go like, I don't watch football. And I remember being a kid and I was like, how you don't watch football and you're a freaking professional player, brother? But that's because of it, because you're daily, like the professional ones, like training in the morning, training in the afternoon, going with the gym,
It's
doing that four
constant.
5 times a week, and then playing on the weekend, and then next day recovery, whatever, in your house, and then again. And before they used to have a little bit more rest. Now it's like go, 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 go. If you qualify to European competitions, you keep going. Then you get called the national team, you keep going, you keep going. So every day is soccer, every time is soccer. So don't being focused out of the pitch in soccer or in football. That's where they breathe out.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't watch football. That's where they do random things. I don't know, for example, Ter Stegen, he does like he's a barista in his free time. So you're like, what?
That's cool.
But he's really out of topic, but that's what he gets like disconnected from football, to be able to breathe, to let your psyche and your mind breathe out of that.
Yeah, it's true. It's their job. They're working almost 24/7 and
That's true.
most of us, when we think about it, when we work, of course, we're not thinking about it 24/7. Of course, there's like those small people who have that passion for it, but even
Yeah,
then, they take that mental break because it's impossible to continuously focus on that consistently.
consistently, yes. It's really tough. And yeah, that's one thing we don't realize. Like obviously, I don't take it like as a job here because obviously we're semi-pro. But but at the same time you gotta understand that when you play a sport like that and you commit like that, it becomes like a task, a job to do.
Mhm. And we
Uh,
get to do almost because we don't have
ex
to do it. We get that opportunity to.
exactly, we get that opportunity to do. So that's a big thing to understand what you're getting into. Because sometimes like that's what every coach this speech tells you, like, hey, if you want to have fun, just laugh, pass, jog around, go to a Sunday league team. But here we have to commit with what we want. So that's like a big thing you have to put your mind. And when you see like, yeah, like a guys like us, like a player, and you feel bad because of a game or something, there's some people that doesn't understand. And they're like, my bro, you have next game coming. And I was like, yeah, but I wanted to perform in this game too. So I think that's a big thing to deal with, that anxiousness of constantly having the pressure of perform. That's an important thing too. Every weekend, and every weekend.
Yeah, because I don't even think actors, professional actors, do that. They don't perform. They just do it during that time, and then they're just regular humans.
Yeah, exactly. We don't realize that. Yeah,
It's so funny that not just soccer or football, though everything that we do has that connection to a performance that we kind of pick up that identity, that persona, like a teacher, for example. We're teaching, we're encouraging, adding curiosity, a bunch of different things. And then
yeah,
when we're outside, the last thing we want to do is continue teaching.
yeah. It's just, I guess it's tough to to teach other people what you know, because sometimes people doesn't like advice. Sometimes people take it badly, or sometimes maybe, for example, in a soccer team, you have to. I won't say you have to have certain status, but you have to give certain amount of respect to the others for them to listen to you, because you can talk, but if nobody listens to you, you're just gonna feel bad. Like you're gonna feel like, okay, nobody's listening to me, so why I keep doing this? Why I
Yeah.
keep teaching what I know if nobody's going to listen? So I think that's a big kind of tricky point, and maybe that's why some people doesn't teach things in their scope, because the people doesn't give them like the space to do it. I guess that's also another thing, because everything in this kind of world is like competition. So maybe the person that always talks, the person that always teach, sees you talking for the first time, because like, hey, that's my job, you know.
Yeah. It's
So
finding that balance, not being able to cross that boundary.
yeah, exactly. And also you, like, for example, I like to talk a lot, I like to give instructions a lot, even more as a keeper you have to, but there's certain spaces that I don't feel comfortable doing. Like with the first team, I tend to not talk after a game. But with the second team, the chances I got to train with them and the scrimmage with them on the trainings, bro, I'm like a freaking coach, because I feel comfortable around them, and I
And
feel
gosh,
that, and
up,
I
don't
feel
you?
how they, in a way, look up to me, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting, those aspects, because I'm part of the first team, but there I'm just like listening, and the second team I arrive and I'm like, I feel free to, and they give me the chance to, and the first team I feel I don't have that chance. Like I know if I talk, it will be all right, but I think that is different, you know. And even more like, as I say, certain people always talk, certain people like the captains that delegated to talk and stuff. So I'm just like, you got that job covered, I'm good.
You take a little break.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even then, being the captain, that's a whole other stress on its own.
Oh
Being
yeah.
having to perform on your best, and on top of that, having to communicate and support your teammates if they're lacking. It's a lot. It really does take a
It's
lot out of
it's a
you.
lot. You just think maybe that is like, oh, cool, I'm captain. Ooh, whatever. But you got a lot like to work behind. Like honestly, that's what I like from my position being a keeper, because indirectly you can be like a captain because you take control over the pitch without properly being one. And I think that's a big advantage, honestly. At least for me. Obviously, if I sometimes get to be a captain, I will do the job. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's like an advantage for my position because in the field it's different how they communicate out there, how they see the things out there is different than how I see it from the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, being a captain is just a whole responsibility. Some people, when they arrive into the position, they crash into a wall of what it truly means to be a captain, not just be like the focus of attention or talk with the referee. It's not only that.
Yeah, no, this it's interesting. It really is a mind game as well. Like obviously keepers, that's something we do naturally. It's always something in our heads, but like playing at a professional level, it is a very big mental battle on top of it being a physical.
Yeah, it's a lot of mental. It's a lot of mental. Like also like what I've been through with Wesley, as I mentioned previously. When you get in that bad mood and then you get the chance to play, you play badly because you go in the pitch thinking I've been doing shit. And then you're like, okay, but the coaches are watching me and I have to do good to keep myself here on the pitch. So you have the pressure, then shy to perform, and then like your conscience is telling you you've been doing bad. All that together while you're on the pitch trying to catch a ball that is coming in the top bin corner of the goal. So sometimes that's not a good combination. So I think that's an aspect that is really a struggle, like as you say, because the sport is a mind sport too. You have to be in the game, you have to be focused, and obviously you have to prove yourself. But at the moment you step on the pitch, what you gotta do is to win the match,
I
and
think
that's all you have to worry about. And if you win the match, that means you did something good, and if you did something good, that's gonna get a good look from the coaches. So, so I think that's one of the like put it in a more in the most simple way, the simplest way possible. That's the thing. That's the thing with the mind. Like just focus on the pitch. Don't focus in anything outside. And I think that's the thing I was liking in West. I was just too focused on what's going around me and what's going about me out of the pitch.
yeah, being able to instead of focusing on every single thing to hyper focus on the angle or one specific thing. And once you get that, you focus on the next thing and the next thing.
And the next thing is next thing. Exactly like deal with the match. And then when you deal with the match, you deal with the coaches telling you, hey, you did good, hey, you did bad, hey, you can get better, hey, blah blah blah. Because yeah, I was in catching a ball and thinking, oh, this is gonna look good for the coaches. It's like, no, brother, you have to focus on make the save for your team and for yourself because you're here working your ass. So, but yeah, I was like, oh, I catch a ball, like, oh, the coach is gonna love that. It's like, no, I catch the ball. That's good for me. Keep going. But I realized that, like, as I say, until I arrive here, Brian, I just clean my mind and do like an erase and start over, basically. But it's difficult to be there. It's difficult to be in that spot of allowing yourself to feel that your mindset is wrong, because obviously I didn't realize until time passed.
Did you read any books on how to change your mindset? Or do you feel like it was just a lot of exposure and experience playing the sport and just living?
I will say for me personally, it was the second one. It was a lot of exposure, a lot of living, a lot of being out there. Um, because when I mean honestly, I don't read that much, even like outside of that scope. I have read some books related to that, but like when I read them, I was a little bit too young. I was like on my 16, so I maybe didn't pay that much attention to the actual meaning of the
One
things.
ear and out the other.
Yeah, or maybe I didn't link one on one. So maybe that there, maybe it's in my subconscious, I don't know. But honestly, it's more like expose yourself. And as I say, I don't like to overshare with the people sometimes. So I just prefer to like talk with myself. Like maybe not like an actual conversation like we're doing, but like sit down, maybe watch the footage of the game and maybe think like, oh, here, why I didn't do that, why didn't do that.
Mhm.
And the same, some people approach you without you wanting to. Like for example, as I say, Costa. That's the first wake up call I got when he told me, "Hey, you look like you don't want to be there. You look like you're scared. You look like you are like having a panic attack, but like not in the way like, oh my god, I'm the USA playing, but oh my god, a ball is coming, you know." Uh, so that's the first time he told me like, hey, that's the thing, you have to enjoy. Yes, we have to perform. Yes, we're like we have standards, but what you have to enjoy. You're playing a sport. You're playing. Like you're not studying. You're not whatever taking exam. Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, there's people watching you, but you're playing. You're doing something that you like. And he was like, I hope you like it, though. I hope you're not here because
Everyone's
somebody
comment.
told you. But yeah, so I think that's a big thing that sometimes people doesn't want advice. And I think that even if you don't like it, you should listen to it. And then you decide if you take it or not.
That's
Uh,
not necessarily
because
any advice, but
exactly, because Costa just approached me and he didn't ask me, hey, can I tell you something? No, he just went straight to tell me the things, talk to me. Uh, and at the beginning, I was like, I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. But he approached, he did his job, he talked to me, and that kind of locked myself. That was like the first thing that unlocked myself. And it was a long way. And I think it's that it's got exposure, you got to understand. Honestly, you know how maybe social media listens to you, Google listens to you, everybody's connected now. So if you're doing bad, if you say something out loud, maybe I don't know, TikTok, Reels, start sending you like messages, like these motivational messages of like um random things. I don't remember where. I don't remember where I received a phrase, a sentence that left Yashin, an old keeper from the Russia. I guess if you know football, you know him.
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know for real. It was a phrase that I don't remember the phrase word by word, but it says something like, um, "When you're a keeper, uh, the only one who remembers your mistakes and the goals you receive is yourself. Everybody else moves on. You're the only one that keeps going in the same position, in the same play again and again in your mind." And it was like, don't take it as you're punishing yourself, but remember that mistake is what makes you be good in the future, you know? So yeah, when you get in your head, you get in your head and you start remembering that mistake. But then I read that phrase and I was like, yeah, I should remember the mistake for sure, because it's a mistake you had to learn from it. But exactly, learn from it and analyze what you did wrong. So next time when you do it good, you're like, okay, if I didn't think about it, if I didn't think about what I did wrong and be in my mind whole week until the next training, I wouldn't have corrected this and be better. So I think those little things, like as I say, it was a phrase maybe in an Instagram post about left Yashin. Or I remember I received a paper. I don't know where. I don't know if the universe just sent me the paper randomly, but I'm thankful for it, I guess. But yeah, it was that phrase like the mistakes of yesterday is the improvement of tomorrow.
Mm,
So you know, and it applies to every point of life. But obviously, Lev Yashin said it with like soccer words that I don't remember right now. But that's the message. So
yeah.
that's one thing that got me like out there. I was like, yeah, I've been doing bad last year, whole year. So don't just think I did bad. What I did, why, and what I did bad. And
Mm,
then I start going through like, okay, I was doing this. I wasn't doing this. And I start like talking to myself, blah 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 blah. And I obviously like, I don't know, trying to, as I say, trying to get off soccer in certain areas. So I try to enjoy more the time with my friends. I play online. So I was like playing games, I was playing games. You know, I wasn't thinking about soccer or whatever. So I think that's good. That's what worked for me. And honestly, one other thing I did, it was like kind of putting messages on the wall, you know, like, hey, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I know how to play soccer. I've been here a long time. I know what to do, because sometimes I was like lacking that communication with the team. So it was like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Like what when I'm gonna open my mouth, something with sense and intelligence and soccer or football IQ is going to come out. So it was, you gotta believe that yourself. So I just did that messages. Sometimes I look at them, sometimes they're just in the wall. But when you look at them, it's just, I don't know, it's just like a little reminder that sometimes there's no one to remind us about. So maybe you can remind yourself. I
mm.
think that's a whole point.
I think there was a quote. If not, this was made up from someone randomly. Uh, it was, I remember it was Someone it was on someone on the pitch. Really good photo, very aesthetic. So the whole point
Okay,
I'm getting to is that before you hear the fans' names, you need to hear your own name, which is referring to you got to be able to support yourself. You got to be able to trust yourself, have that confidence, like you said. And once you get that confidence, once you believe in yourself, the others will believe in you as well.
exactly. Exactly. It's a really good phrase, actually. It's a really good quote. We hope it's if it's from somebody. If no, you hear it first here with Mario. 2025. Uh, but yeah, it's an important thing. I remember when I was doing that transition from the second team to the first team in Irvine. I remember coach told me in the first team, I'm not playing you in the first team because you lack that confidence on your play style with us. Like he told me, you go to play for the second team, you're amazing. You're like, I don't know, prime Neuer, whatever. But you go here with us and I see doubts. I see you hesitating in some decisions that you don't do on the other side. So that's what I think you're lacking, and that's why you're not playing. And I was like, makes sense. And it was because of the pressure of being like in the first team, being of the pressure of when the team is better, you feel like some people ego is bigger. So you feel the pressure indirectly of perform. If not, you're gonna be like left out of the team or left out by those players. Because for example, for me, that is difficult to socialize that easily. My way to relate is with football. So when you play good, they kind of talk to you. They kind of go like, "Hey, blah blah blah," or they know they can talk to you about football, so you can interact with them. So I think that I was liking that, and I was like really nervous about like how I will perform with the team to be accepted by the team. And I was like, oh, okay. So and also like the support system, like the coach in the second team. The coach in the second team was like, you made a mistake. I don't care. I'm the one putting you out there playing almost like as a second center back because we used to play line of three. You remember? So I was
Yeah.
like, I got you there playing almost as a second center back. You messed up. You lose the ball. You do a bad pass. You're out of guard. You're out of the box. I don't care. I'm putting you there. So that's like a support that you receive that like okay, I'm free to perform how I liked. Obviously, I don't mess up in purpose, and I think I never did. I want to believe, but you have that support of you freely do your game, and that was like I didn't receive from the first team, obviously because I was new in the first team. Like they're not gonna go like, hey, you do whatever, because I gotta prove myself to be able to be part of them. But I think that was a big thing. Again, that switch up, that mentality, that support of myself to myself. And when I heard that, I was like, I'm going back to the point I was before in the university. So I was just like, no, you can do it. Just do your game. You do your thing. And I started doing my thing. And I remember the first times the other keepers that were on the bench used to tell me like, bro, when you did that play, the coach was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Why he does that? Why he does that with my heart? But I started doing consistently, and he realized, oh, that's part of his game. He can do that. He's not improvising.
Mhm.
He's doing it because he know how to do it. So that gives him the confidence of me having the confidence to do it. Like I give the confidence to myself, and the people start to see, okay, he knows what he's doing. Okay, then just let them do whatever he wants to do between the reasonable.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's how I affront that, because yeah, like I know it's difficult, but you gotta support yourself in a way. Like for example, that I know I lack sometimes social skills with people I don't know. Like approach new people is really difficult for me. But I know when I'm on the pitch, I know what I'm doing. I know what I've been working to do. So I just go and do it, because I know I'm good at it. And if I do something wrong, I just receive feedback.
Yeah.
And that's all.
You
But
come.
yeah, it's difficult. It's just really difficult.
Mhm.
But being in the right environment helps you out to find support within yourself.
Yeah, it's big. Being able to be confident, be comfortable, and at the end of the day, just have fun.
Exactly. If you're having fun in what you do, the confidence will come along because I don't know, like as I say, I used to be trying to be like the other coaches' image of me, and I was doing shit. And then I started to enjoy what I was doing on the pitch. That is going crazy, playing outside the box, having the ball a lot in my feet, like usually the keepers just boot it out. I'm like, no, unless I have the guy right here, I won't do it. And I'm gonna put a risk a goal, maybe yes, but I've been working to be able to solve that situation. So when I was doing that, I was enjoying myself and I was having fun being responsible to not get scored on, but having fun. And that's where my confidence came back, and that's when everything went good. So yeah, you just gotta enjoy it yourself out there. Whatever you're doing, if you enjoy it, you will feel good, and when you feel good, you will have confidence. People will notice, and people will tell you. And when you have confidence with yourself, and people tell you, you feel amazing.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you don't have to depend on them to get that confidence, but once you get it from yourself, and people will start notice, and that will feel good because then not only that you're doing something good, but you're like, oh, people are noticing I'm doing something good, and that's good. Like obviously we're not like isolated. We're humans. We share, we commute, we whatever's.
Whatever that saying is.
Yeah, whatever. Just have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2025.
2025. Yeah, yeah, that's my quote. I think your quote is better, if I'm being honest.
It's all good. It's all good. It took me a couple times to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I noticed you have been putting work on the quads, and I like that.
I'm a quotable guy. For good
Yeah.
and bad. I have made some bad quotes.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm the guy that doesn't do quotes but do jokes, and I've done really bad jokes, so I get you.
Yeah, definitely. On that note, that is going to be the it. That is going to be it. That will end the episode. There we go. See, bad quotes. Um,
Yeah.
if you guys like this episode, if you guys have more questions about mental health and sports, and if you're someone that is going in through that phase of becoming a professional athlete, there are resources. Like we said earlier, find that support. Be your own support. Analyze. Be open-minded. Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So. With that being said, pass a smile, stay safe, always be awesome. See you guys next time. It's always that nervousness, that first step.
It's all right. I get you. I've been recording a podcast with a friend too, so I get this process is just weird, but it's all right. It's all right. We'll deal
All
with it.
right.